welcome y'all to Backwoods Obscura, a podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris. How you doing, man?
Dude, it's been a week.
Yeah, it's been a week. It's been like 10 days for me because first it was my birthday, which I celebrated by going to your daughter's birthday, which I think was the best thing because, 37, you've had 37 birthdays already, but, her first birthday, really special, and I think that was worth.
Spence took such good pictures. By the way, big shout out to Ninja Spence, one of our friends and one of the co-members of Team Bonus Action. He took photos at it. Amazing. I've got to start. I got to start sharing them.
I want to see.
He took like 500 pictures.
Oh, he was dedicated.
Well, I mean, he also has like the rapid shutter.
Oh.
So like every time he hit it, it might take 3.
Okay.
So they're like a millisecond apart.
Okay, so he can capture like.
But yeah, it's been a week for me because we actually it's been 2 weeks for me because we had Freya's birthday, and then it was the first week of school for me and the first week of school for my son, and then Tuesday he had a seizure. And so we stayed in the ER until...
I didn't know if you want to talk about that.
No. He's fine. For anybody that's listening, Chaos Muffin is fine. We have a neurology appointment, but there's a reason I'm mentioning this. So he's fine. We just spent till like being at 2 a.m. at the ER. They told us shit's weird. We're going to give you some medication. You have a neurologist appointment. At the time of this recording, we're going to go in a week. After the Tuesday after Labor Day for that, but he's fine. We're just gonna figure it out because the thing with any type of neurological or nervous system disorder is you just kind of have to.
You kind of have to figure it out. Yeah,
it's you kind of gotta go run. And the reason I mention this is it feeds into what we're doing with Team Bonus Action, and I feel like Backwoods Obscura is also connected to it. Is
tenuously connected.
Tenuously, because right now Team Bonus Action is partnered with Extra Life, which is connected to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. So if you donate to Team Bonus Action right now, all money will go to Batson's Children's Hospital in Jackson, specifically for the neurology department, to help parents not have to pay some of the prices if they do not have insurance.
Some of the insane prices for American healthcare system. I see our analytics. I see some people are actually not from America, and I know you hear stories, but the stories don't do it justice.
Like one of the reasons we always pick the amount we do is that is the price of a uninsured MRI, or I should say uninsured, a out-of-network MRI and anesthesiologist and hotel stay is about $1,500 to $1,600,
which isn't cheap, especially around here where we live, where that could be 2 paychecks for some people.
So, just putting it out there, son's fine, but if you can feel to donate whenever this airs, because Extra Life runs for Team Bonus Action from August until December. If you can donate, please do. And if even if it's not Extra Life season, if you can donate to any charity that helps children or helps families with medical expenses, please do. It's a great cause, and karma will come back in your direction.
Yeah.
But you're talking about might be two paychecks, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have a story for you that comes from a section of the country where that is 100% true.
Hmm?
Yep. Have you ever heard of the Moonman of Kilgore Hill?
I actually haven't. It sounds interesting, and it sounds a little bit outside of what we usually do.
Yeah, one, I'm not the biggest fan of alien stories when it comes to cryptid stories because, yes, I know aliens are 100% cryptid. I know they are. Like the Frogman of Indiana, the one that's over on the East Coast that looked like a weird floating porta potty with a pointy head, and
even the Dover Demon.
Yeah, so I know they fall underneath that, but to me, I don't put aliens fully into the cryptid category because aliens have a much higher chance of being real, in my opinion, because, look, we have nearly infinite space around us in the universe. The fact that we're the only rock with life on it
is very far-fetched.
It's mathematically improbable.
And also, when it comes to cryptids, a lot of cryptids are. I mean, we've been fans of like cryptid stuff for a while, and also we've been doing this podcast for over 30 episodes now.
Yeah, getting in close to the 1 year mark of the first recording, and only a few months from the first 1 year from first post.
Yeah, that's crazy that we've been doing it. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
Holy
like,
shit.
My child's been here a year, and then I realized shortly after she was born is when we started.
Yeah.
But
when it comes to cryptids, they're almost like scattershot in the way, like if you see something weird, suddenly your brain tries to make sense of it, and then you're like, it must be like the infield horror. We talked about it.
That's a kangaroo.
Yeah, potentially being a kangaroo.
No potential. That's a kangaroo.
And like someone just misidentified it. Which I think a majority of cryptids.
A lot of that is. But I mean, like I don't even put like North American weird monsters like the jackalope and some of those like tall tail creatures from lumberjacks, like the sawcat or whatever its name is, that like had one set of legs shorter than the other because it always walked one way on the mountain. So the best way to survive was to quickly get around it, because then its long legs would be on the upper end and its little legs would be on the lower end, and it would roll down the mountain.
Yeah.
Like, I don't put those as cryptids. Like, the jackalope and that, and all these, like, tall tail creatures, like, they're not a cryptid. They're a fun story that you told around the campfire when you were drunk. But, like, I even have trouble sometimes counting yokai into the cryptid category, because that starts getting to way more religion, even though we've talked about the Loa. So, I mean, I guess really it's not, like, I'll probably end up talking about yokai at some point.
To be clear, the podcast isn't just about cryptid. We're called Backwoods Obscura.
So it's weird knowledge and everything.
Yeah. Like, eventually we're going to get into, weird history or weird just facts. Like, I mean, even if we want to get into stuff that is, like, not necessarily like supernatural or paranormal. I mean, it's still, if it's obscura or weird or just strange.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason I've held off on a couple places, because, like, eventually we're going to talk about the La Laurie mansion.
Yeah.
Which it is La Laurie, not La Laurie. It is La Laurie.
La Laurie. Yeah, the...
Delphine La Laurie. No, it's Delphine La Laurie.
I had the same thing with Jean
or La Laurie.
Or Jean Lafitte.
Or Jean Lafitte.
Where people were like, Lafitte? It's like, dog.
In the club. Lafitte.
Damn it. Anyway, what is this Moonman you want to talk about?
First off, I have to go into the area that the Moonman of Kilgore Hill is found. Kilgore Hill is an unincorporated area named for the geographic features of the Kilgore Hills, located near West Point, Mississippi, in Clay County. Now, West Point is the county seat. It's about 11,000 people, which for rural eastern Mississippi makes it a fairly sizable town.
Yeah.
Like, it would be somewhere slightly behind us in Ruston, but above, like, Rayville.
Yeah. Like, I was thinking it was very similar to places in Louisiana.
But 11,000 people it's more like Bastrop.
Yeah.
So, not a huge town, but not tiny. Now, some fun stuff is that West Point has some claims to fame. Number one being that they are the original home of the Mossy Oak Outdoor Clothing Company. I could not find out if Mossy Oak still had its headquarters there, or if it's much like Delta, where we're from, that it started here, but now it doesn't even really...
Yeah, it doesn't even...
fly here anymore, I don't think. I think maybe we have some... I think we have some connections with Delta.
No, we have Delta planes that land here, but
okay.
we're just a proxy for bigger.
Yeah, I mean, we're a regional airport.
Yeah.
Now, 25% of the people live below the poverty line. The average income is about $28,000 a year, and that's connecting back to what I'm saying is with
about average for
rural. So, like, I want anyone that is not from the section of the country we're in the Delta. Like, I mean, honestly, like, we're the deep South. We're in Louisiana. We're not in Acadiana, which is a completely separate, separate culture
if you
group.
want to look at it,
we're general deep South, and the thing is that also
it's like South Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama. That's all deep south, and then when you get in, like, if you want to get into quote Cajun country, that's like
south of I-10.
Yeah, very,
but
very far south.
But the reason why I bring that up is poverty is very prevalent in the region we're from, and a lot of people don't stop and think about it, because just like one of the last polls I read said $100,000 is actually the bottom line of middle class. So if you make less than $100K a year in the United States, now you're in upper lower class. And I'm like, hold on a second, upper lower class sounds like a really big oxymoron.
Yeah.
But it's one of those of, it's a section of the country that's struggling, and again, for anybody that would like to donate through Extra Life, please do, because these are folks that will end up having medical conditions, especially for their kids, that might not be able to be paid. So if you can help, please do.
Just to let you know, I have met people. I have known, actually, I say I have met people. I've known and been the person where I was working 2 full-time jobs and not making more than $1,000.
Yeah, and that's something that's very prevalent here, because it's a very general southern town. It also used to be the headquarters of one of Mississippi's largest grocery store chains that got bought by Sara Lee. And then when Sara Lee got bought, the company that bought Sara Lee shut down the production facility in the town, shut down the original store for this massive this local grocery chain.
Oh man!
And put a third of the town out of work.
Oh, that's fun.
Again, another reason I'm bringing this up is these are hardworking, salt of the earth people.
Yeah,
These are not the type of people that go out and just come up with something for no reason. These are folks that have worked every single day. And so I don't believe that some of the beliefs they have, because some people believe in this story 100%. And I believe that belief is earnest. Now, the person who started the story, when we get to it, we might have a different opinion about, but these are not the type of folks to just generally make shit up.
Yeah.
So, it's part of the Mississippi Black Belt of farmland. It's been known historically mostly for cotton farming, which means its demographics are majority African American, because this stretch from around Clay County to about midway through Alabama had some of the densest slave populations.
Okay.
So, again, very much this is a typical southern area. And it's still recovering from the 2011 closing of that factory and several other things. So this is a hardworking town, hardworking people, good people. That if anybody can do anything to help them, please do. If like, hey, Elon Musk, okay, fuck you. Hey, any other billionaire?
Yeah, he ain't gonna do shit.
He's gonna go, I have emeralds in my pockets. Look how poor I am. I don't know why I just made him sound like the pig from Sing 2. But that is not,
I'm gonna see what I can do about that. Maybe, get a Cybertruck out there.
Don't put a Cybertruck through a car wash. It'll ruin it.
Dude, I saw a Cybertruck going home the other day. Those fucking things.
Like you see pictures,
and they don't look good. And then I saw one in real life,
and it's worse. It's almost Uncanny Valley.
It looks like a fucking child got a bunch of scrap metal and this is actually talking shit on children, personally, but it looks like a child put this thing together with like duct tape. It's so awful looking.
They're not great vehicles. They're not. Like, I want EV to be a thing so bad.
And the thing is, there are EV cars out there
that are great.
And now they're getting more affordable, which is good. It's just Elon Musk, fuck you, get out the market. We need standardized stuff so we can have EV vehicles.
Yep. So any other billionaire out there, if you can help Clay County, please do.
Jamie Pritzker, come on.
So to Big Daddy hero Tim Walz.
Well, he ain't a billionaire.
No, he's not. But I'm just saying, like, hey, Tim, people, help us out.
Tim, please.
Coach.
Come on.
So, getting that all out of the way, let me describe the creature to you. The Kilgore Moonman stands about 5 feet tall, has gray, oddly textured skin, and has cat-like eyes, large cat-like eyes. What does this sound like?
A Gray?
It sounds like every Gray. These are the folks who stole Mulder's sister. I don't actually, you know what? I never watched the last season, and I went and saw the movie in theaters, but I don't remember it. I don't remember if they ever resolved what the fuck happened to Mulder's sister. I
can't remember either.
I know they killed the smoking man. It's not. If it's 20 years old, it's not a spoiler.
Like, I know that series had so many twists and turns. And it's a really good series.
It is. Darth Vader is Luke's dad.
Yeah.
That's not a spoiler anymore.
Okay. So, is it a spoiler? I can't think of anything.
Tyler Durden is an imaginary friend. It's not a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. I can't think of another spoiler. I can't think of anything to spoil. Fuck.
Libertarians are just Republicans that want pot. It's not a spoiler.
That's just political, though.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so let me talk to you about the sighting. Now, this goes way, way back. Way back.
So we're talking like 1960s, 1970s.
We're going back to sepia tone. We're going back to when the world was in black and white.
So this was before the whole gray phenomenon.
We are in 1883.
Okay.
March of 1883. Gus Goode came in.
That's a good fucking name.
Gus Goode with the E at the end of it. Gus Goode. Tavern owner.
Oh my God. I love this man.
So, he was from he had a tavern near Big Springs, Mississippi, which does not exist anymore.
Of course. Makes sense.
It is in the Kilgore Hill. There's Palo Alto, Mississippi is there, and it's claimed to fame as being a ghost town and having a Civil War battle. But it was abandoned when the plantations around it got burned down.
Oh.
Go Team Union. Like Team Venture, they do the V. Can we just do the U for Go Team Union when we ever talk about the Civil War?
I hope, okay, I do see in our analytics that we do have some Southerners that listen to us.
Hey, for everyone in the South.
We were wrong.
The Confederacy was wrong. We lost the war. Go Team Grant. I am Ulysses S. Sherman. Ulysses S. Grant. Tecumseh Sherman.
I like Ulysses S. Sherman. He is the mixture.
Yes, they went fusion with the earrings, and then they just took down the Confederacy's Frieza. But Tecumseh Sherman, very controversial figure. I'm going to say terrible person, great military commander.
And he also,
terrible person because he is responsible for the phrase "the only good Indian is a dead Indian."
Oh, I mean,
also he's the first president of LSU.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they're never going to build a statue to him. I've actually donated more than once to the fund to get a Sherman Hall built on LSU's campus. Any case, so Gus Goode came in to he came into West Point, Mississippi to renew his newspaper subscription. He's an old man at this point, used to run a tavern or a bar over near Big Springs. Again, neither doesn't exist anymore. There's a lot in, if you go to Google Maps, Kilgore Hill is known for 8 different cemeteries where there used to be towns. And this is the story of all of Mississippi. If you go to Johnson Station, where my grandparents are from, there's a cemetery, an old burned out church, and some burnt ass farms. It's literally getting retaken by the woods.
You drive through anywhere in the South.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
So he said that he saw a Moonman fall near Big Springs because he and a friend, his neighbor's name was Byron Thompson. Another good name.
Like Gus Goode, Byron Thompson?
Yeah, so they were out in the woods and they saw a flying saucer come near the area. Now, they noticed this big green glow from a valley, and they get over there and there's this long silver cigar-shaped object and about a half dozen of these little folks running around. And Gus was like, oh, shit. But Byron don't take no guff. He pulled out his rifle and shot one.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
so,
no.
He did, okay, you remember the movie Sliver?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Shoot it! What the fuck is it?
Yeah, like, it's just like, dude, why are we just sitting here?
Most realistic line in a horror movie in the South or rural town ever, because, oh shit, shoot it. What is that? Like, it's not what is that, shoot it. It was, shoot it, what is that? That's like the reason you can't have like too many, like, okay, you got The Walking Dead, which I don't believe that many zombies would have been able to make it in the South. Because of the number of people who would have just started mowing their asses down. But, like, you never see...
At the very least, the Living Dead movies, the whole idea, the reason why they took over is because it was like a sidewind thing. Where people were like, what the fuck is going on? And then suddenly...
It's like, what is this? Ah, it bit me!
Yeah.
That's not down here.
Yeah. Like, down here it'd be like... That's a walking corpse. Okay, time to get it.
Okay, let's be honest in here. I've been waiting for this moment for so goddamn long. Elroy! House of the Dead is real! Lock and load. Spray and pray.
It's just... Yeah, like by the time you get to like the 2000s, like the idea of a zombie outbreak is like laughable because so many people are like, it's
how much of our age group is just all about that?
Yeah.
Here's the deal: we'd be the zombies in the group so quickly though, because we'd be like, yeah, oh shit, I didn't think this through.
Oh dang, I got bit.
Cut off this arm with a chainsaw.
I guess cut it off.
Anyway, so Byron shot him. And the other ones were like, oh shit, Rand got in the UFO and flew away. And they went down there and checked out the body. And they literally stood there and watched this alien die. Like, they're like, what is this? And sitting there like,
roughly
subtitles
all
is,
day,
what,
you shot me.
Subtitles, shit, this hurts. I'm dying. Why are you just looking at me?
Like, dude, why did you do that?
You are responsible for this.
I just asked if you have any weed.
I came down here, and I was just trying to get some Yazoo clay to study for my freaking thesis.
Well, I was going with the thing. It's like, a bunch of college students, going interplanetary.
Well, I mean, okay, if you have a whole bunch that are going to get weed from another planet, there's one alien there for science reasons.
Mm.
Yeah, he's going to smoke the weed too, but, he's going to get his dirt sample.
Obviously.
Then he'll get the sticky icky from the Mississippi.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Anyway, so this leads to the next logical step that Good takes the body and back to his bar.
What? Wait, so Good's just like...
The little Moonman dies.
So he's dang, it's dead. Let's just go
Byron's
back.
over here going, I've done my duty. I've saved the planet. I'm a real hero. And then Good goes, bet we can make money off this. So he picks up the dead body, hauls it back to the bar, puts it on a cot.
So Good is just like, man, I'm going to show all my friends look at this body. It's so
You see how big this head is?
He's like, look at it. He's like slapping it. It's like fucking crazy.
So he charged $1 for a picture of the Moonman.
Oh, that's good.
No. We're talking 1883. A whole dollar.
That's a good bit of money.
That's a lot of money. If you've seen 1,000 Ways to Die in the West or 1,000,000 Ways to Die in the West, son, you take your hat off. That is a whole dollar. No one's saying anything above 50 cents. And $5 if you wanted your picture taken with the Moonman.
And you're going to have to sit next to that stinky ass body for
you mentioned
5 minutes.
stinky. This lasted for about a month.
Oh.
And then they buried him in a special Moonman cemetery. Because they didn't think he was a Christian. So he couldn't be buried in a regular good Christian cemetery. And they couldn't bury him in the Jewish cemetery because they didn't think he was Jewish.
They were like hedging their bets. They're like,
so they went and made a new Moonman cemetery in case more Moonmen show up and they die here. We have a place to put them.
Yeah,
it's only right. It's only proper.
You know what? At first I was like, they're being hateful, but also they're actually being kind of considerate because they're like, we don't want to bury him in the not you don't want to bury the Moonman in the Christian cemetery. He might not be Christian.
Yeah, even...
He might not be Jewish.
You don't know. He might be, Latter-day Saints. You got to find he might want a sky barrow. You don't know. So they went and buried him just somewhere and said it was the Moonman Cemetery. And the thing I'm going to say is, there are so many cemeteries in Kilgore Hill, but there's also random graves in the wood. Like, I would kind of like to go to Kilgore Hill if we had a GPS to keep our asses from getting lost, because there's just like geo-tracking, like random graves. Like, you'll be walking for a mile and then all of a sudden there's like an obelisk grave in the middle of the woods to some dude named Joseph.
That kind of reminds me of, look, I think it's pretty much a fixture. I don't know if it's a fixture outside of the U.S., but that's a thing that you see just driving around or just going around.
Well, the thing is, like, you see a sporadic little cemetery, but I'm saying is like one single grave next to...
No, I mean like one single grave. Like, you'll see it on the side of the road usually.
Oh, no, those aren't graves. Those are memorials to people who died on a... But I'm saying, like, if I'm not going to lie, if I'm walking in the woods, there are 3 things I don't want to find. 1, a doorway. I'd never want to find a freestanding doorway in the woods. That's weird. I don't want to find stairs randomly in the wood. And I don't want to find one single grave.
Honestly, like, I wouldn't want to find, like, a house either. Just
I've seen too many of those when you're walking through like an overgrown cabin. Like, we avoid that. That's where the witch lives. Yeah. That's Yaga's house. We just keep going.
Hey, you don't go in there. She's going to be like, yeah, you want something to eat? And I'm like...
Baba, you want me to get you Popeyes? This is how we become friends with Baba Yaga, as we give her Popeyes.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, look, Baba, the footlongs at Subway, they just went down in price. I'll go get you one. You want a meatball?
Next thing, shit, son. Yes, I love you. Do you want a wish? No, Baba, this is for free.
This is for free. This is.
I know how Baba's wishes work. Oh, you're hating, honey.
I'm not hating. I just look. This is all for goodwill. This is just to put it back out in the universe and not get eaten by Baba Yaga. Not get eaten by Baba Yaga. Have your meatball sub. Who knows?
Anyway, so that's the sighting and the story. But let me bring up a couple of issues. The first one is Good was 80 years old.
Damn.
When this story was first...
So wait, he was 80 years old.
When he first told this story, he was 80 years old when he told the story, and it already had happened. It was in the past.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 80 years old when it had happened.
No, it's not two 80-year-old... It's not 2 octogenarians with a rifle in the woods killing an alien.
Like, in the 1800s, which would be... Like, I mean, I'm not saying it never happened.
No,
that's
but it
insane.
was rare.
Yeah.
So when he told the story, it had happened 20, 30, or probably 30, 40 years earlier. So really, probably the Moonman might have landed before the Civil War, even. So think about like $1 in 1840, dude.
Jeez, that's like... You would have been rolling in money.
You wouldn't have been rolling. You would have been like solid doing good, though.
Yeah.
You would have been able to buy groceries for like a week or 2. Man, I wish I could buy groceries 2 weeks for $1.
Jeez, like, especially with meat prices right now.
Oh, fuck yeah, I know, man. But so the saloon was no longer standing, and the graveyard was lost to time when he told the story. Now, he did run a saloon, but Big Springs dried up. Nobody really needed to stay there, and people moved to other towns. And I mean, here's the deal: like back in the day, your town being 10 miles from another town, you might as well be in another world completely.
Yeah.
I mean, you could walk there in a day, but eventually people were like, well, there's nothing here, and it's like 5 minutes away kind of type situation. So everybody kind of left some of these little bitty communities that pop up wherever. Now, supposedly, a photo of the Moonman was found at the Bryan Public Library. It was supposedly from an abandoned house in Big Spring.
Wait, do you have it?
I do not. I looked online everywhere for it, and it was not there. But if you go to the Bryan Public Library, supposedly they have fish tape of multiple pictures that they no longer physically have because they degraded over time. But, so I mean, really, honestly, let's be honest, photography, it would have been a 10 type if it was before the Civil War.
Yeah.
So, I have some questions on this. Now, also, Judy Good was interviewed by several people to talk about this, and she said she was there. She claimed to be Good's daughter. The problem is she was interviewed in 2017, so she would have been 130 plus at the time of this, and she claimed touching Moonman goo from his chest. From his chest, Moonman goo from the chest.
I was about to... Like, I was trying to do the math, and I was like, this is
it doesn't
not good.
It doesn't add up. She's a completely unreliable witness. Also, I mean, my conclusion about the Moonman of Kilgore Hill is it's a tall tale, a fun tall tale. And a weird dude profited off of a dead body. Probably a weird dead body, like a deformed dead body, or hell, he might have made a fake body and people... Like, I'm not saying the people who thought they were getting a picture with an alien lied about it. It's just, how many times have you seen a really good fake?
That's true. Like, there was actually, like, a while ago, there was a fake of the Bigfoot. I think it was, like, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Where they, it was, like, that group that was like, we have a Bigfoot body. And then it was, like, so people came out there. They're like, yeah, it looks real. I see a tag from like the costume shop here, and then like it just all fell apart.
Well, here's the deal. To give a little bit of credence to a few areas within this, there is the story of a Wild West outlaw who was hung, and then his body was left out on display as they did back then, so you could come by and see it. And he eventually kind of got dried out and mummified. And instead of his body ever getting buried, it kept getting shipped around. And then one day in California, a haunted house that had bought it as a prop dead body.
I think I remember hearing that.
I don't remember.
There's multiple stories like that.
I'm trying to remember the name of the outlaw that this happened to. But it wasn't like Curly Bill Bronson or anything from like the OK Corral. But like they literally found out, oh shit, we have a real human body in our low budget haunted house. So the idea that a fake could not look like a real body, I feel is 100% fake, because there's been real bodies that people thought were
fake. Yeah.
Fake. So, I mean, there's there. But here's the thing about looking up the Moonman of Kilgore Hill. It led me, much like when I did the Sackabilly to the Bagman, it led me to a much more famous Mississippi alien encounter. And that is the Pascagoula River abduction, or the Pascagoula River aliens.
Okay, I'm listening.
So I knew about this story a little bit because, it's one of those stories that you've heard, like everybody's heard certain stories, like either on Unsolved Mysteries or reruns of In Search Of, or numerous other sci-fi / cryptid shows. Like this one's been on several, but the setup is that the Pascagoula is a river in southern Mississippi. We've talked about before when I talked about the Pascagoula mermaid, when I talked about the Yazoo. So weird shit at the Pascagoula, man.
Pascagoula is just like a inflection point for supernatural shit.
At this point, yeah. So in 1973, Charles Hickson, 42, and Calvin Parker, 19, claimed to have been abducted while they were fishing after work in a abandoned boat launch near the shipyard they worked in. So, what happened is Hickson was Parker's foreman. They worked at the shipyard, and they're like, hey, let's go fishing. To me, this seems like if I was Parker at 19 and my 42-year-old boss wanted me to go fishing at night with him, weird, but at the same time, if I'm 19, unmarried, and I'm like, hey, look, if I can fish, that means food for me.
Yeah,
that I don't like.
You get some bass, you get some fish.
Now, there is so much more to this story than I was able to get. Like when we're doing some stuff after we record, when we're doing the setup for the podcast, not the podcast, but the live game, that we usually do after we record. I don't mind putting on Netflix so we can watch an episode because they did an episode on this of a TV show. So we could have it in the background while we're working. So there's more details to this. There's multiple books on this. And I mean, like, I feel weird. It's like when you did the Falk Monster, you're like, I didn't realize so many people knew about this.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those things where you're like, wow, this is a cool little thing. Wow, this was a national thing.
Yeah, this dude, one of these dudes talked to Rolling Stone.
Oh my God.
So, what happened is while they were fishing, they saw a football-like object surrounded by blue light, and then very quickly, 3 floating aliens in front of it. They felt paralyzed and got snatched up. They were examined by a large robot eye, and then got dropped back off on the bank.
So they had like a fire in the sky situation?
Yeah, like they got abducted, got observed, got dropped back where they were, and whatever did it, booked.
It's like, oh, you're a human by the blue.
So here's the weird thing. They didn't do what most people do in this situation. They went directly to the cops immediately. Wow.
So they were like, I need to talk to the authorities.
I need an adult. I need an adult. I need an adultier adult than my 42-year-old ass. I need an adult.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, they took multiple polygraph tests. They were recorded without their knowledge while they were held by the police. And their story stayed consistent.
Oh, okay.
Like, details did not start the waiver. So, the cops were like, this is some weird shit, bro. Not going to do anything.
Of course.
As the constabulary is noted to do. Now, Hickson told anyone, everyone, and just everything about, like, he was not shy. Parker, on the other hand, a little bit more reserved about it.
Well, if something like that happens to you, what are you going to do?
Well, the thing is that Hickson was a well-respected member of the Pascagoula Society. Like, people knew him. He was established. Parker wasn't from the town. He just worked there. That's it. He just worked there. Right. And he wasn't from there. So he's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, the thing is he said he wanted to forget it, and he went and took a bleach bath in case the aliens, like, did anything to him. So, like,
okay.
So, like, he was assuming, like, if they put, like, a chest ripper or chest popper out in me, I'm going to bleach myself to kill it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
I mean, I don't think that's going to help you internally.
No, but at the same time, he did something. Like, he's like, I don't want no, like, space flu or something like that. Yeah. So, bleach. Now, he eventually left town, got married, and tried to put everything behind him. He started working in the oil field, and people started recognizing him from this story because it got big. He would quit and find another job. And hey, here's the deal. If that is not a boomer fantasy situation right there, I don't know what is, because, like, I can just quit my job and find another one in the oil field so quickly.
Right.
Like, today I quit my job. Well, it looks like I'm going to McDonald's.
Yeah. Or work. If I quit my job, it's like, I'm going to spend the next 6 months
searching.
Yeah. And potentially in just, like, low-wage work before I find anything good.
Now, like I said, Hickson went and talked to Rolling Stone and the LA Times about this. Like, this, it made it to Johnny Carson.
Really? So
Hickson literally talked to everybody and anybody that would listen to him about this. He eventually founded a paranormal investigation society in Pascagoula over this, mostly focusing on UFOs.
So he kind of became like a ufologist sort of deal.
Now, here's the deal with some of the additional things. More people recently, since the Netflix episode of Unexplained Files, I think that's the name of the show, I'll mention it again here in a second, have come forward saying that they saw lights that night. I don't give any credibility to the people who came out 40, 50 years later.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I saw lights that night too, bitch.
It's like, okay, suddenly you're talking about it. I go back to things like the infield horror or like things I've talked about where when people saw weird shit, they immediately talked about it. But when you're like, oh yeah, I saw something weird.
Yeah, like my thing is that when this got back into, like, it died down in popularity when it came back, a lot of people came forward, and I don't give credibility to any of those. Now, Hickson died in 2018, so one of the last things he did was actually participate in the Netflix TV show episode. So if we were to watch that tonight after we record, that's one of the last things he did. Like, that's literally, wild. Like, he did that in, like, 3 weeks later.
It was, like, croaked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Made his way back to the...
Now, let me describe the Pascagoula alien to you. Mitten or claw-like hands. Very large mitten or claw-like hands. So no fingers, just, like, 2 digits.
Kind of like a bear sort of deal.
No, not like a bear, like a large rounded digit and a smaller thumb-like digit. So very claw-like, but not sharp and pointy. Extremely tall. They had a ropey skin-like texture, almost like it was stacked coiled rope.
Okay.
Bullet-shaped heads with extremely pointy carrot-like noses and ears. They very simple, almost robotic, as they put it, slit for a mouth. If this is not actual aliens, this is a hell of an acid trip about ropes wrapped around a mooring post.
That is some wild shit. That's not what I was expecting. Like, this whole time I was kind of expecting your usual gray alien sort of deal.
Right. But I mean, my thing is, the reason that I wanted to include this one with it, because really, honestly, the Pascagoula abduction deserves its own episode. But it just links to this so well. Now, a legacy. Due to the validity and consistency of the story over the last 50 years, it is believed to be some of the best evidence of alien abduction.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is... I mean, I'm assuming the later one is actually... Like, I believe you said that it was before, like, the big boom.
1973.
So it was around a similar time, right. But not...
It became a media sensation. It led to many folks looking into the paranormal, and Pascagoula has put up a marker, a historic landmark marker for the Pascagoula abduction. The city 100% is down with this and put a marker for it.
That's wild.
Now, in media, Hickson wrote a book in 1983 called UFO Contact at Pascagoula. You can find it on Amazon for $133 right now.
Holy shit. What the fuck?
Very limited printing, and most of the copies that were sold are owned by people or they're in public libraries. Files of the Unexplained on Netflix did a show. The game show To Tell the Truth had Hickson on it. Parker wrote, just in the last couple years, The Pascagoula, The Close Encounter, My Story. The book Alien Contact Pascagoula Abduction, and multiple other books and articles have been written on this. And in fact, one of my sources is the Hickson tapes from kneecap.org. It is the transcription of Hickson talking to the police officers and a secondary interview he did about what happened. It is word for word. I did not read through it because my mouse, little bar on the scroll bar, it went to like a line. I'm like, oh. And I started scrolling. I'm sitting there scrolling down. I'm like, it is a lot.
It is a lot.
It is a lot. Now, again, like I said, we're going to need to come back and revisit the Pascagoula abduction because it is such a big story. But my sources are D Journal, the Moonman at Kilgore Hill, its article, Kneecap, Pascagoula Hickson tape, WashingtonPost.com, which was about the abduction, and DE173, which was another random website that was about the man at Kilgore Hill. So, I mean, most of my sources actually are connected to the Pascagoula abduction.
Right.
And I want to come back and revisit this one because it is...
It's an interesting story, and I love... Again, it goes into into the stories that I've covered. Like, it's slightly different, but again, I keep mentioning the Enfield Horror, but the Dover Demon, Sinkhole Sam, things like that, where it's just like a thing that has happened in this small place, and it's very strange. And it's stories like that I really love because...
I do. I mean, like I said, when we're setting up later, I really do want to put this on. If we can get Netflix working on my computer, I want to watch it
right
while we're setting up because it would just be neat.
Yeah,
it'd be really neat.
Yeah. Anyway, we are Backwoods Obscura. We release every Tuesday, and hopefully I will one day start posting on social media because that's one of my jobs. But we are also Team Bonus Action.
Team Bonus Action is a charity tabletop and video game playing group. You can find us at teambonusaction.com on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Skies, Threads as Team Bonus Action. You can also find us on the hellscape that is Twitter as bonus_team. Currently, we are partnered charity-wise with Batson Children's Hospital through the Children's Miracle Network and Extra Life. So if you can donate, please do. Make somebody's holiday season just a little bit brighter.
Yeah. And if you're listening, I hope you have a good day or night or whatever time it is out there.
Hey, and don't shoot an alien.
Don't shoot the aliens.
Or touch their goo.